Hello, comic art fans. Well, I hope everybody's having a good show so far. This is obviously our fourth show in 18 months, and it seems like it sort of gets a little bit easier and a little bit harder every time we do this show. I always have sweaty palms when the 11 a.m. clock rolls around, and you got to pray to God that everybody who's a premium member gets into the show on time and properly. And that there almost always is some hiccup here. There are lots of people who pay for their admission or their premium membership at the last second, tend to have, they have to wait for their cookie to reset, or I have to tell them to log out and log back in and it'll fix it right away. But there's always a little bit of something like that going on at the beginning. But today it was actually heightened because I believe about 50 people paid for premium memberships in the 3 or 4 hours leading up to the show, and most of them in the last 15 minutes or the first 15 minutes after 11 a.m. So a little bit of a hectic moment for me because I'm upgrading all those accounts manually and trying to help anybody who's got issues getting in. But by and large, everybody got in and had a good time, except for one person, and I'm going to work that out with them. It wasn't their fault or mine. But so I have to tell you, everything has gone great. I saw somebody asking questions about like, what's the site like? What's the server like? I haven't had a chance to post any screen grabs and stuff from Google Analytics, but the moment the doors open, we had about 400 to 450 people hitting the site, loading about 1,500 pages a minute. So that was roughly 25 pages to 30 pages a second, which is pretty ridiculous. I mean, a normal CAF day, it's usually around 3 to 5 pages per second. When it's at its kind of busiest moment. So yeah, when the show floor opens, there's a lot of activity going on. So but the server handled it great. Like I mentioned to everybody earlier in the week, we did patch and reboot everything early, so I wasn't expecting there to be any problems, and everything came off without a hitch. I can tell you that in the first 2 hours alone, there were over 160 sales, and I believe we've already passed the $400,000 in sales mark. So that's pretty good for just the premium members gaining access to the site. If I look at the Google Analytics right now, we're back over 400 users because it did kind of dip a little bit as the 2 hour premium access wore on, but we're back over 400 users on the site and over 20 pages loading every second. So it's back to usual, which it'll be at this pace probably for the next 4 or 5 hours until everybody makes their way through these Saturday offerings. But yeah, I've seen the art getting picked up. I've seen a lot of inquiries going out. I know that a lot of our sellers try to do their best to update the status on their artwork. And I would always just remind anybody who's an exhibitor to get in there and make sure that you update your statuses to sold as quickly as you can when the deal has been consummated. It's just good to, it's good for my stats, and it's good for users not to know that they can't get that art anymore. It's always better because, we want happy customers at the end of the day. I'm sure most of the people in here have been trolling around the site for a little bit. And I see Mikhail mentioned as well, server performed well. So, and the thing is that, the great thing about the show too is that a lot of people who've been members of the site for a long time become premium members just for this. And it's great to see people supporting the work that we do, and that Comic Art Live as a show is something that people feel is worth supporting. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate everybody who has done that. I believe, and I won't know until the end of the month because I don't run these statistics very regularly. They're just a month-end report that Maureen has programmed to be an auto-generated type of thing for me. But this will probably be the first month ever where we'll have crested over 1,000 premium members on Comic Art Fans, and it is due by and large to the Comic Art Live convention. So yes, thank you very much. And no, Dino has not passed the 400K mark all by himself. He's got a sizable chunk of that with all of those great pieces of art that he brought. So and who can blame him? I mean, I had a good feeling that he'll probably have a sellout, which is great. And Dino certainly deserves it. And it wouldn't be the first sellout he's had on a Comic Art Live show. Is that correct or not? Right after doing dealers. So I don't want to keep everybody because I think everybody would rather be on the show floor trying to find some art. And don't forget about the art drop on Sunday. That happens at 11 a.m. as well. I haven't checked. So let me see. I could tell you how many artworks are going to drop on Sunday, at least as of now, another 1,200 pieces of art. And I'm sure that number will increase by the time that actually happens because booth owners can add artwork to their Sunday booths up until 10 a.m. Eastern on Sunday. And I know in my email yesterday, I was starting to think that we weren't going to have as good a turnout as we had on the prior show, I said I thought we were going to be around 3,500 pieces of art. I think at that point when I said that, we were around 2,700 pieces of art. Well, combined right now between the drop for today and the drop for Sunday, we are going to be at least right now, 4,400 pieces of art. And I believe we're at 4,800 pieces of art for the prior show. And again, it's back to that's a lot. That's something we'll be able to talk about on the recap. So I hope everybody can tune in on Sunday evening at 7 p.m. so we can talk about the pros and cons of what went well this show. I'm already, I had a checklist of things to do after the last show, I can tell you. And some of them we did, and some of them we definitely forgot to do. And I was looking through some things on, particularly in the booth administration, and I saw a couple things that I forgot to have done. So I've already been making a list that we need to correct before the fifth show, if we have one, and I'm sure we probably will, which would be next May. But so let's see. I didn't want to, like I say, I don't want to drag this out too much. But again, it's a phenomenal start. I'm really happy with the turnout. I can't say it's bigger than the last one, but it's certainly on par with the last one, and that's what's most important to me, is that we stay consistent. I want to. What do you think? I should thank a few people. I think Maureen might be watching, but Maureen is number one on my list of people to thank, because she works very diligently beside me when I'm in a panic, and she tests everything with me when the show is kind of rolling out. Everything locks down, everything opens up, those sorts of things. So, and she's got to put up with my stress, which which is much less this show than usual, but still, she puts in a lot of hours to make sure these things come off without a hitch for all of us. And I can't thank her enough. And then coming up, of course, we have the panels, and I couldn't do these panels without both Chad Ramsden, who was from the Mainframe Comic-Con that kind of started the same time that we did. They haven't really done those anymore, but I've been good friends with Chad for a long time since there, and even a little bit before that. And he helps me with the panels. He helps make sure they're prepped and ready to go for the start of each panel. And usually we'll be in there to help close them if need be, if he knows I'm busy. And then also to John Suntress from wordballoon.com. Well, if you've ever heard any of his podcasts or watched him on YouTube, he's the guy that all the creators like to talk to. And he's been around a long time. He helps bring in about half of the panelists. So I can't thank him enough for putting the time in to make sure that these shows are fun on the panel side of things. And also to the dealers that have kind of always supported me at every show, and there are many of them, of course, but I can at least mention, Felix always bringing me some top talent. He doesn't set up at the shows, but he's always been a huge supporter of it and has always brought somebody, a big name. And of course, we've got the three Ryans this show on Sunday, to Mark Hay, who has always been there for me. He tests a lot of the stuff for me. He was there from the start. He coined the name Comic Art Live, so as far as I'm concerned, it's his as a name, not as a show. But and of course, he's brought Paulo Rivera to be in a panel at 1:00 on Sunday. And then just the usuals. Tatiana, she's always there for me. Albert, Jiggy from Next Comic Art. The list goes on. And then all the collectors who throw questions my way about how to set up booths and things that they'd like to see done differently. And I can't thank all of those people enough. And then Nick Berucci. I have to mention Nick because, of course, there's that whole IndieGogo campaign that will start, I believe, next Tuesday. I can put up a little reminder image of that if you haven't seen that before. There will be a variant cover on a Dynamite comic for Vampirella Unholy #1. The IndieGogo campaign starts next, like I said, Tuesday. There'll be a link in all of the show descriptions this weekend, so that where you can sign up to get an announcement via email when that campaign starts. I would just encourage everybody to support it. There will be that original art will actually be a part of the campaign, so somebody's going to get that. I'm envious. I can't own my own first appearance cover, but that's all right. I don't mind. I think it'll be cool as long as it ends up on CAF. Whoever gets it has to put it in their CAF gallery so I can see it. But that starts on Tuesday, and pretty much, the art sale amount from that sale is going to go all to the Hero Initiative. If there's any proceeds that end up making it my way, I can assure you that probably all of it is going to go to the Hero Initiative as well. It's really just for something that we wanted to do. I've been wanting to do since probably the last two shows when I started thinking about how do I make this feel like a real con. And so, whether I didn't want to print T-shirts, so doing a variant cover on a book was a good idea. Of course, I thought we would just do something normal, just a generic twist on a cover. But Nick was the one who said, we got to put you on that cover. So I didn't think it was a good idea, but it looks fun. So yes, we've got that, but the links will be in all the panels, and of course I'll send out some reminders on Tuesday when the campaign goes live. But pick up a couple, slab them, and and I'm happy to sign them. I don't know if there will be sketch variants though. I know that Ken Hazer may or may not do that. I haven't talked with Nick since those ideas were brought up, but we'll see. After that, just as far as the panels go, I had a couple of notes here. I wanted to, the panels that are today are really great. At 2:00, we've got Alex Aviac, who also created a calf gallery last night, and I've heard he's gotten a mountain of purchase requests for the 12 pieces he put out there. I believe what's going to end up happening, he'll end up, I'm sure he'll be able to follow up with everybody because it wasn't what he was expecting was going to happen. But we've talked about it, and I'll probably be doing a special Saturday claim sale with him in January, probably from a lot of his daily artwork and Sunday strips. So look forward to that. And then at 3:00, Scott Dunbeer and J. Scott Campbell will be talking about Campbell's career. And then we'll have Bendis and David Marquez at 4. Jamal Eigel at 5, Mike Norton at 6, and Ryan Dunleavy at 7. And then on Sunday, there's several of these are actually kind of going to have a claim sale element to them. Anthony's show at noon will have a claim sale element with several surprises that I can't talk about. Paulo Rivera's show at 1. I know he's got 2 pieces that are going to be auctioned during the stream, and I believe there will be a couple claim pieces as well. Ryan Otley at 2 p.m. is going to be with Felix. And for that, I know Ryan has done some pieces specially to do a claim sale within the chat. And so look forward to that. And Stegman as well at 3 p.m. has done some artworks that will be claimed during the chat as well. I have not seen any of them yet, but I'm sure they're going to be great if you've seen any of Felix's unboxings. And I'm not sure about Ryan Sook as far as having art that will be able to be claimed. I do know that he'll be doing some kind of a live demonstration, potentially while he's in his stream with Felix as well. So something to look forward to there. And then we round out Sunday at 5 with Joe Weems and Marco Gali. And then 6 p.m. with Howard Chaykin. And then 7 p.m. will be the show recap with me, where everybody can tell me what went well and what they'd like to see done differently if these go on into the future. So there you go. Sook is godly. I completely agree. I can't wait. I've actually never met Ryan, so I'm looking forward to just being able to see him in the green room before the show and talk with him a little bit before he goes live. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we'll talk with Nick about that. I don't know. That would be an interesting variant for certain. But yes, J. Scott Campbell. I'm sorry, where was that? J. Scott Campbell is on with Scott Dunbeer today at 3 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, that should be a good one. I've met him a few times, but it'll be interesting to see him on this panel. And I'm appreciative of Scott for kind of corralling that him and getting that all organized for me. There should be, I guess we're going to look at some of his artwork and talk about his career. So yeah, and thank you, Kirk, for that compliment. There has been a lot of good stuff going on already with the show. Let me see. So after that one thing, I should also remind everybody that there are 2 simultaneous panels going on. One, I think, starts in 1 minute, and that is the Essentially Sequestered panel that Jason Schachter from Essential Sequential runs, and he does them regularly, but he has them on Saturday. So when he told me he was doing that, I asked him if we could simulcast his show on our channel, and so we are. So it's just adding an extra layer of programming that it's going to make you divide your attention even more than you already did. But they will be doing some, I believe, some claims during their show as well. Tim Sale, Dave Johnson, Claus Jansen, and Eric Canetti will be there, and potentially a few other artists as well that I'm not allowed to mention if they don't show up. So let's see. Before I say anything else, I see Christopher Daly asked about how to find out you saved. That is up in the menu. As everybody knows, before the show starts, underneath the Comic Art Live link, there is no rollover menu. But once the show starts, if you hover over the Comic Art Live menu on CAF, you'll see that it has changed to include a link to All Art for Sale, which takes you to the search, the exhibitor halls, a page directly to commission an artist, the panels list, announcements if anybody's using them. I haven't looked yet. And then your saved artworks and your saved exhibitors. So it's all, and you found it. So, but it's a good reminder because it is something that most people don't think. I put enough links on the site to get people in, because I had people tell me in the last show that they didn't even know there was a site search for strictly Comic Art Live. So I wanted to make sure that I integrated the site search into the right-hand column to make it clearly obvious that you can search all booths without having to browse only through the halls, because some people just did that. So, and again, it's it's back to me not thinking it all through very well. But now there's plenty of ways to find everything that you need, and I used the save search. I had saved something when the hall's open, and I picked something up from Marquet not too long ago. So I appreciate the fact that that the save thing is there, because I did it, forgot about it, went back to the page, and yeah, and oh yes, busy with Thought Bubble. Yeah, there's a lot of that was the only disappointing thing, and I know that I think most people probably know that Thought Bubble didn't put their. We knew about their show, but they didn't really announce it or get it onto any of the common convention sites that are out there. So I picked this weekend. I really couldn't have picked any other weekend. I could have done it maybe the week before, but I think there was a show that week as well. So this was really it. So it's us up against Thought Bubble, which is unfortunate, because that's a lot of our people in London are missing out on being at the show. So that's not a it's not a good thing. But what are we going to do, right? You can't pick perfect weekends no matter what, and we're just going to have to roll with that going forward if we are to keep the show in both May and in November every year. But at 3:00, the other panel that we're simulcasting is with 4C Comics. So Ken Carson and JD, they've got a sketch claim show, and it starts at 3 with Pat Broderick. He's going to be doing some live sketching, and the claim sale will be a part of that. And then he's having an art showdown between Aaron Lepresti and David Williams. So both those shows are ongoing. I don't know they probably don't have a set end time. So I would expect them to go at minimum an hour, but maybe they go 2 hours. I don't know what their typical length is on that. So just keep that in mind. And if you can't watch them live, watch it afterwards, because I'm sure both of those shows will be great, just like all of our panels will be great. And but I do, before I close out everything and set you guys back onto the show floor, I got a great email last night from my good friend Jeff Wedding. He wrote me a poem, and hopefully he didn't share it anywhere. So this is a first reading for everybody, and I'm sure I won't do a great job of it. But I, it was funny. It was the first thing I read when I woke up this morning, and it put a smile on my face and got me going for the rest of the day. So this is by Jeff Wedding, a riff on a holiday classic. Here we go. 'Twas the night before Comic Art Live, and all through the hood, not a creature was stirring, not even Mahfood. Portfolios were stashed by armchairs with care, in hopes the next morning new art would be there. Bill and Maureen worked long through the night to make sure all the vendor booths were displaying just right. Kavi, Scott Wingo, Alfredo, and Mikhail were all fast asleep, dreaming of a possible grail. Berkey and Anthony were feeling just fine, but also prepping for Monday night's Dueling Dealers at 9. Nick Berucci exclaimed from the experience on Friday night, "Merry Comic Art Live to all this weekend, and please smash that like." So thank you very much, Mr. Wedding, for that thing that really, really got me in the right frame of mind to get this show going today. So all I want to say is enjoy the show, take notes on things that you'd like to see done differently, for this show and in future shows. There's always room for improvement. We all know that. And I can tell you that, there's certain things that we even fixed in the last 2 hours that I saw that I didn't like. So we're always striving to make this experience a lot of fun for everybody. And I think most of you feel it like I do. You get excited, as a premium member, being able to get in there before everybody else. It's not like racing into a con hall. It's a very different experience. And you just sit there with your hand on the mouse, just waiting to get going and seeing how things, seeing what's available and who's brought what. And I should also say too that as far as the exhibitor count, this was, I believe, I think we've had about 20 more exhibitors for this show than we've had in the past. So I don't know where we're at right now, probably around 230. Exhibitors can actually still create a booth, but they can only post their things to Sunday. So I expect the count on the exhibitor count to also change probably before the end of the show. But again, thank you, everybody. I think that at least the start of the show has been a really great success. And again, it's really because of all of your support on the things that we've been doing. The last 18 months have been the most stressful and crazy that I've ever gone through, but I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a marvelous experience for myself and Maureen and my entire family. And we're really proud to be able to put this on for the community. And I look forward to doing more of these in the future and having a lot more fun on the Comic Art Live channel and all the live streams that we do. So, so again, enjoy the show. And please tune in at 7 p.m. tomorrow to give me your thoughts. And if you can't tune in at 7 p.m. tomorrow, at least, again, write them down, send them to me in an email after the show. I'm all ears, and I really want to always make sure we're doing better every time. So have a great show, and I'll see everybody. Well, actually, I will be hosting a couple panels. So you'll see me tonight if you check in at the Mike Norton panel. I'll be hosting that one as well. All right, everybody. Good day, and enjoy Comic Art Live Part 4.